Since I turned 18, I've moved 5 times, and within a month or two, every new place that we move to does feel like home. But now that I live about 1,800 miles away from where I grew up, there's nothing quite like going back home. To most people, the suburbs are nothing special, but every time we fly back, I can't wait to be here. The smell of pine trees and the humidity that's so different from the desert, arriving back in my childhood home and town and realizing that since I've last been here, things have changed, even if the way I remember it hasn't. But I've changed too. I have a beautiful daughter who keeps growing, and if you told me 8 years ago that I'd be flying in with a family of 4 from New Mexico, I would have fallen out of my chair. The point is, people and places change, and sometimes it takes going back to your childhood home to realize that and be grateful for what you have. I recently traveled back home to visit my parents along with my wife, daughter, and our dog, Cloud. And it was exactly what I needed. See, most of the time I get so caught up in the day-to-day life in my daily routine. Every day, Monday to Friday, I live pretty much the exact same day every day. I'm up at 4 a.m., I get my wife out the door to work, I go for a run, take Cloud for a walk, and then log on for my work day starting at 7. From there, I work until 3, and then play with baby for a bit, cook dinner, and be ready for my wife when she gets done work. And when you're in that type of routine, every day can feel like the same thing over and over again. It can be hard to see if you're making any progress. It's hard to tell if you're being a good enough parent while you're also distracted at home trying to get your full workday done and make sure everything is clean and there's food on the table. It can be hard to tell if you're doing a good job at work when most of what you do as a manager is answer communications, train people, and try to help them as best you can. And it can be hard to know creatively if you're growing and moving in the right direction when you make a daily vlog every day of the exact same routine. So in order to figure out if you're actually making progress, you have to take a step back. When we were in New Jersey, I got to watch my daughter play with my parents in a way that she's never interacted with them before. Even though we saw them just a few months ago, she could barely stand on her own back then, and now she's so much more mobile, talkative, and interactive. And on my side, all I focused on was being present. I didn't have any work to do, so I just kept up with the daily vlog and tried to go for a run when I could, but otherwise, it was all about spending time with my family. And stepping back in that way reminded me to focus on what's really important. Because my life is in so much of a routine, it can be easy to get caught up in the cycle of trying to do it all every single day, and to feel like a failure when I don't get to everything that I had planned to do. When a work project doesn't get done because a bunch of emails and Slack messages come through, I feel like I didn't get enough done on that specific day, even if I worked just as many hours as I had planned. If I don't film enough to make a really strong vlog and the vlog just comes out the same narrative as it always does, I feel like a failure. But I also have to remember that part of the reason I'm working so hard is to provide for my family and continue to move up in my corporate career so we can have a good life and I can pass on a good life to my daughter. I have to remember that the reason I make the daily vlog is to document our life and have that to look back on, not for any sense of achievement or improvement. So slowing down, sleeping in, being present, using my phone very little and spending most of my time face-to-face with the most important people to me, it all allowed me to take a step back and remember why I'm really doing all of this. And since I've come back, I've appreciated just how easy it is to fall back into the trap of trying to do it all. And in those times, I remind myself of what I remembered while I was on vacation. That it's not about getting it all done or getting more done. It's not about being more successful or improving every single day, but it's just about the daily process of doing what you love and spending time with the people you love. And if you have a life that allows you to see the people that are most important to you and do the things that are important to you every single day, even if they're not up to your ideals or your perfectionist standard, then that's still a great day. It's not always easy to be this far away from family, and really we don't have much support system out here in the desert, and my wife is working 12+ hour shifts most days, so I'm pretty much the only childcare that my daughter has in addition to my full-time job. And that can be busy and it can be hard, and most days I'm able to balance it all effectively, but I was reminded that I need to give myself grace when I'm not, and to be thankful that I still have family that supports me even though we're separated by thousands of miles. And so what I'm taking away from this experience, besides a lot of great memories and looking forward to the next visit, is an appreciation for what's really important in life and remembering what truly makes a successful day. To take a step back when I can, look at the big picture, look at the progress I've made from an outsider's perspective so that I can remember that what I'm doing is meaningful. And maybe most importantly, to call my family a little more. So if you're another young, kind of mid-20s person like me who feels overwhelmed by trying to do it all, trying to keep up with your physical health, your relationships, your emotional well-being, moving up in your career, all while maintaining hobbies on the side, you're not alone, and you don't have to do all of those things. You've got the rest of your life to figure it all out, to feel like you're being successful, so instead, try to breathe more deeply, slow down a little bit, and just experience the present. Slowly uncover what you enjoy doing and do as much of that as you can, and do less of the stuff that you don't enjoy as much. Through it all, just try to be present and find meaning in just existing as much as you possibly can.